Let's flow. Let's connect and flow. Welcome to The Shift. This space is created with intention, with care, and lived experiences. Today, we are stepping into something quietly that shapes quietly every result in our life, the universal law of attention. You've probably heard that phrase that is attributed to Albert Einstein: energy flows where attention goes. Whether he phrased it exactly like that or not, the principle stands. It's powerful. Where we place our focus is where our lives begin to form. It's not what we wish for without an intention. It's not what we pray for without participation. Though, if that's what you want, let it be so. It's not what we talk about without discipline. Though, if you want to do it without discipline, go ahead and try. What we consistently give our attention and energy to, it expands us. Attention is not passive, it's participatory. The ancient proverb says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. That's from the book of Proverbs. Centuries later, the Buddha taught, what we think, we become. Go look up Gautama Mahatma. Modern, different cultures, different eras, same principle. Attention shapes internal wiring. It is easy to be distracted. I know. Distraction is not by willy-nilly. It's constructed in our notifications, in our algorithms, in our compassion. Our attention span is shrinking. When attention lacks alignment, thinking loses clarity. When thinking loses clarity, identity loses direction. When the mind is scattered, it struggles to build a stable life. Your attention shapes you and others. I believe attention is reflective. Look at yourself in the mirror. Most of us pay attention to ourselves in the mirror, or either we deflect from it because we don't want to pay attention to ourselves. Just like the cause of effect, or the law of cause and effect, let's put it that way, what we give attention to creates ripples. The more we give attention to it, the more the ripple is created. When we focus on possibilities, it spreads through openness, engagement, action. When we focus on resentment, it spreads through our declination in our tone, our posture, our language. Right? At least that's what I found. Took me quite a while to actually be able to put this in the right format. And then I had a little bit of help with Chat GPT because, I'm a Gemini and I like to talk. So all the sudden I'm throwing in the pot, all of the kitchen, because I'm trying to make points known and I'm getting a little from here and a little from here. So let's stay on point. When we focus on possibility, it spreads through our ability to be open, our ability to be more engaged in conversation or engaged in some action. We look forward to it. We have more of an active language with people in conversation. Our attention does not only shape our internal systems, it also influences our emotions or our emotional climate, the things around us, the things that we have emotion to, right? Because when we're having emotion about something, that's directing us on a path. So here's what I found. When I walk into a room feeling threatened or feeling deprived or feeling like this ain't going to work or I'm not good enough, my body braces. It scans for what's wrong in the room now and shapes the room through a guarded field or tone or posture. And then I have reactions based on that in that room, whether it's in a conversation or whether it's somebody having a conversation about something else, and I take it personally. The universe starts eliciting tension in situations that I might be defensive about or distance or need to distance from. I found that out about myself, right? Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Doesn't have to be you, right? I also found out when I walk into a room feeling calm and confident and focused, especially focused on growth and expansion, my body is settled. It's looking for the possibilities. Not just my body, but my unconscious and conscious mind. And the universe begins to shape the room through openness. It shapes the room through curiosity. Intentional action, not reaction. Eliciting trust in conversations, trust in people, trust in engagement, trust in momentum. Attention radiates. What we focus on becomes what we create, what we experience, and what may possibly, I know for me, it is most probable, reinforces my life. And it's possible it can reinforce yours. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. Here's a example through life experience lived, right? There was a time I was focused heavily on my supervisor, and we've talked about her in prior episodes or parts, as I call them, part 6 and part 5. And we've talked about her energy. It's always felt negative. It got to the point where there was so much negative interaction that it was tense and it was misaligned, or it felt misaligned. And my ego was always ready to react. And guess what? The universe said, oh, she's there again. Let's open a doorway for that. I told myself, I need to leave. Right? But little did I know, and now I know now, that I framed that environment. It does not negate the fact that she was a negative, very, as I would call it, the only title that I can call it. She led herself to be evil and unkind. She thrived there, and she knew it. So The more my center of attention there, the more that experience expanded. Then one day, remember I told you about a seminar that I went to, so now I'm going to expand it so that you can see what I experienced in the seminar. So she sent me to a seminar, right? She thought she was, ooh, I'm going to get you, you naughty little girl, or in this case, woman. You're not doing what I want you to do, right? So I went to this seminar, and that 8-hour seminar truly shifted my understanding, right? The facilitator shared an image. Her image was, and mind you, I was the only employee in that seminar. This was for managers, supervisors, and managers, right? She shared this story or this image. Someone cut you off on the freeway, right? She said, most often we assume that that action by that person was personal to us, as though that person had in his or her mind from the start of their day us on a sticky, on a mirror, bathroom mirror, bedroom mirror, the mirror before they walk right out the door, that they had our name on a sticky and said, I'm going to get Sandy today. But then she says, but hey, they didn't. But yet, if we interpret it personally and hold on to it, we carry that energy into every action that follows. It defines or designs our day. And it has a trickle-down effect that defines or designs someone else's day that comes in contact with us. The event was neutral. Does that blow your mind? Blew mine. The attention, our egoic self personalized it. The personalization shaped the experience that we had. For me, that was the turning point. For me, that was the turning point. And imagine if you see every situation and circumstance as being as you personalize it, and it's a negative experience always being played out. Even if you're an employee that doesn't want to be an employee in that company and somebody gives you the bright idea, well, you can own your own company. You're taking that into a company that you're about to own, that you're about to go off and do something you've never done before, but you're taking that into that new environment with possibly employees that you might be managing. That blew my mind. Assume, I'm going to just say this statement, assume non-attention. You say, what? Often what feels personal is not personal at all. Often What our egoic self makes personal isn't personal at all. It does not mean the other person is not having a nasty moment and we should like not make them responsible or at least say that they're hold them accountable. But the only one that you can hold accountable and change is yourself. The person who cut you off and got off the freeway and is off about his business, you can't hold that person responsible. But your reaction, right? Did that just blow your mind? Well, that's the same way as an employee working for a company or a corporation or a small mom and pop, or a first-time business owner, or a CEO of a hubbub of a bustling company, or just parents trying to raise children, or single mom, single dad, or best friend, or professor, or student, any type of life. You control your reaction. You control whether you make it personal or not. But because the event didn't personalize it. Did you just have one of those awakening moments? Right? I did. Right? So assume non-attention. Often, what feels personal is not personal at all. Sometimes people are not attacking us. It feels like it. We personalized it. Sometimes they're just being assholes. I don't like to name call, but sometimes that's what they're just being. And you're in their way. But they moved on. We, as the individualized individual person, personalized it and made it our own, and then we took it with us. Assuming non-attention instead of malice can immediately calm the nervous system. I tell myself stories of why a person might have cut me off. Maybe they were driving along and they were grooving to the music and getting into it, and all of a sudden their stop came. Their exit lane on the freeway was coming up, and they couldn't be late a third time in a row. Otherwise, they were going to get written up. If they get written up, oh my God, I'm going to get fired. And then they're crossing lanes. But they're not in my world, they're in theirs. Doesn't mean they shouldn't have paid attention. I have no way of changing that for them, but I can change how I react. If I see them coming over, instead of letting them almost clip me, I can slow down. Yeah, I can get upset, but I can just go, what I usually do, shit, and then just keep on going. Or, oh, well. Sometimes I do shit and drive a little bit and then turn some music on and it's gone. And sometimes I just do, oh, well, I hope they get wherever they get safe. For me, there's nothing wrong with that. Somebody else, you got to stay in your feelings, stay in your feelings. This is an infinite possibility world, right? Once again, I say it doesn't excuse other people's behavior, but it reclaims emotional sovereignty on your part. Attention determines whether we spiral or stabilize. Does that blow your mind? And we're talking about the workplace. You can spiral in a minute. Whether you're an employee or whether you're the manager or CEO or whether you're the supervisor, whether you're the delivery guy bringing Xerox paper. Do you know what I mean? Does not excuse the person's that had the bad behavior, but it helps you to reclaim your emotional sovereignty. It helps you decide whether you want to spiral or whether you want to stabilize. Still a free will choice. Right? The law of attention is attention. Let's just put it this way. Attention is a scarce resource. Attention is energetic currency. You can use it anywhere. Some environments will create aggressive, or some environments will compete aggressively. Some people will demand it. Some systems are designed to harvest people competing, people doing each other dirty, people doing each other so dirty that other people spiral. Guarding attention is not selfish, it's strategic. Your attention is yours, it's your energy. How are you going to use it? It's energetic. Energy cannot be created, nor can it be destroyed. All it can be done is transform or you can create with it. It needs to become form. It's waiting for you to give it a command. I was waiting for that to come in. And it's very strategic on our part. Where we spend our attention determines what strengthens in our life, in every area of our life. Paying attention and looking like it, right? Let's put that as a category or as the next level of what we're going to expand in. Paying attention and looking like it. Let's say it that way. It's not enough to pay attention internally. Presence is also visible. Your now moment, your body language. Your body language shifts when you're paying attention to something. Your eye contact shifts when you're paying attention. When I see something in the colors or in my favorite colors, I focus longer and there's a smile on my face. Whether it's a blue car passing by or whether it's a blue tank top on somebody else, the color grabs my attention. Same thing. Attention through smell. If I smell freshly made cakes or donuts, my attention goes there. My nose is happy. My whole body shifts when I smell a fresh cup of coffee that I'm about to drink. My posture shifts. When I know that I've got everything I need as far as reports, as far as information about projects, as far as information that my CEO might need when I go into a meeting with the department heads and my CEO, and I've got his back and he's got mine. He's depending on me. He's got me right there. And everything is unfolding because my attention is drawn to all the information and the questions that are being asked and the information that my boss is giving me because I have the correct information because I'm going in with that action in mind because I put the attention on it. The attention is shaping that meeting. Sometimes when we deliberately sit upright, we soften our shoulders and we focus our gaze, our mind will follow. Right? It makes you smile. Sometimes I notice when I deliberately sit up with and I used to do this a lot, with my shoulders engaged up here, showing that I'm tense or I'm uptight, right? My focus is on me being uncomfortable or thinking that other people are noticing that I'm uncomfortable, or all the people that are in the room are the ones that made me uncomfortable, blaming them for that. So I started learning how, at that particular time, to soften my shoulders when I went in, to soften my gaze to something that I liked in the room. And then my mind followed that. And my internal system started to relax. I'm not going to say it was picture perfect every time. I'm not going to say that it worked every time, or it worked just enough to get me through. I believe for me, I had to embody attention. I believe attention can be embodied. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Even studies on multitasking shows that divided attention reduces the depth of processing. I had to go look for that one. When we appear attentive, we often become attentive. Our mind just follows. Our mind doesn't know whether we're just playing at it or whether it's real. Our mind just says, let's do it. Right? Let's do it. Optics influence cognition. My mom used to always tell me, if you want success, she would say, dress for it. What does success look like to you? What would you put on to be successful? Because she loved clothes. Go ahead, go play being a CEO. Play at it. Right? What type of manager would you really want, Sandy? Start writing the pros that you would want if they get another manager or supervisor. What qualities would you want her to have? Instead of thinking about all the negative qualities that she does have. My mother said, Your attention span can be, if you practice it, it can grow into something maintainable. And in my 20s, being a single parent, by my mid 20s, and an employee of an accounting department in a corporation, and having some stability, but I had to be accountable for a lot. I had a lot on my shoulders. But my mom says, if you think you can do it, then you will. Right? So attention can be practiced. Attention is skill. Like a muscle, it needs to be strengthened deliberately, repeatedly. Whoa, right? Mindfulness training, deep work sessions, reading without interruption. For me, reading, what helps me is reading aloud helps me retain memory, as opposed to reading silently. And reading it hearing my own voice. And if I'm having a conversation with someone, listening to their whole conversation before I interject means listening before thinking about what I'm going to say to them, being fully connected in the conversation. These build attentional and intentional endurance. The law of attention. Research by Matthew Killingsworth and Daniel Gilbert found that a wandering mind is an unhappy mind. Okay. That came up in one of my research of people who were researching it like this. The name again is Matthew Killingsworth and Daniel Gilbert. When attention drifts constantly, satisfaction decreases. And that could be satisfaction in yourself. Grounded attention increases well-being. Practice increases stability. The more you practice the law of attention, the more the energy opens up to you. Right? The more you practice, that increases your ability for your attention. That even means if you think, God, I can't remember these words, which is what I'm going through. So I have to write words down sometimes because I've got so much flowing through that I'll sit in a live and I'll try to focus so hard on the word that I want to remember instead of going to what other word can give me or the definition that can bring me to the word. Right? Refreshing attention. Attention also needs restoration, just like anything else. Energy is constantly circling. Constantly fading or moving from a manifested vibration, going back into the universal vibration, and then coming back and becoming something else. attention needs to be restored. It's energy that lives within you. Just like sometimes a muscle can become lethargic and weak, and it needs to be exercised so that it can recover, so does focus. Even at work, sometimes when something's not working or it's just not coming to you, step away. Step into the conference room and take just where nobody is and take a breath of fresh air. Tell yourself, I got this. Give yourself a moment to recoup, restore. Where do I need to start now? Right? So first thing, like I said, take short breaks or standing and stretching, walking outside, going in the break room, putting on your headphones and listening to a three-minute song. Solving puzzles, shifting your environment. These are not distractions. When you use them intentionally, they are resets. A refreshed mind sustains deeper focus. Burnout is often prolonged when you don't renew your attention. Restoration protects your clarity. Sometimes you just need a moment. Let's talk about the internal shift. If we focus on lack, we begin to feel limited. Been there, done that. If we focus on growth, we begin to feel empowered. Been there, done that. If our attention, if we allow our attention or to dive into what we have our attention on, then it can condition our perception to allow our mind to go after it, positive or negative. Perceptions influence behavior. Behavior shapes the result. Wayne Dyer said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Sometimes you might just have an oh well moment, like, let's let that go. Let's focus on this over here. Been there, done that. Joe Dispenza also teaches where you place your attention is when you place, or where you place your attention is where you place your energy. So pretty much energy sustained builds identity. Pretty much. Possibly. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. It's okay if you don't want to go there right now. Let's talk about direction and destiny. Direction sustained over time becomes your destiny because you're focused on it. You have intention pushing it. Repeated focus becomes a habit. Habits become identity as well. Identity can become trajectory. Right? We're off to see the wizard, right? As Aristotle often said, we are what we repeatedly do. We are what we repeatedly do, negative or positive. Repeated attention becomes repeated action. Repeated action becomes a lived reality. Destiny is accumulated energy focused. Did that just blow your mind? Destiny is accumulated energy focused. Whoa, right? The universal law of attention reminds us we are always feeding something. Our attention shapes our internal world, and our internal world manifests or creates our outer world. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Go ahead, observe your focus on that. Because where attention rests consistently, I gotta take a sip. Where attention rests consistently, life reorganizes. It reorganizes accordingly. So we're going to bring this into real life. You know, with some little kind of think about this. Can you see this? Imagine this. Right? It shows up. Attention, the energy or the law of attention shows up in your workplace, in your business. It shows up in your decisions. Whether you're an employee or an entrepreneur or a first-time business owner, whether you're a mom, a dad, a grandma, whether you're a professor or a teacher, whether you're a kid, a child, or whether you're a bum on the street. The law of attention does not pass anyone by. Right? So whether you're an employee or an entrepreneur or standing at the doorway between the two, your attention is shaping your experience. Right? So employees, where your attention goes at work, if you are in a workspace right now, where your attention is going is your attention is on, if it's on the wrong, if it's on what's wrong, who's frustrating you, what you don't like, what feels unfair. And I've been through all these little scenarios. You're feeding that experience. The experience has nothing to do but come to you. The door has to open. The energy must be created. The story must be told. Okay? Because if you're feeding this experience, it's not because you're wrong. It's just because you've given your attention to be the fuel that's driving the car. Or the fuel that's fueling your reality. Better way to put it. So what happens if you move your attention to what are you learning? And this is what I had to start doing, is me not focusing so much on my supervisor being a annoyingly asshole. I have to say. We'll use that term because she liked being that way. She liked pushing people's buttons and making them feel bad about themselves. She actually had a placard on the door before you walked into her office that said "Wicked Bitch of the West." She thought it was cute and funny until her boss finally actually noticed it when he was walking in her door one day. It took a while because at first he didn't notice it because the door was always open. So what happens when you when I moved from that attention, I started asking, what can I learn here? Which is when I went to that seminar, man, it perked my ears up. What can I learn? How can I grow through this? How am I showing up? I don't care how she showed up this morning. How am I going to show up this morning? What skills do I want to build? I don't care about the skills that she doesn't have. Even in the job that eventually I didn't plan to stay in. Now my job becomes the training ground, not a trap, for something new. Whether it's to transfer out of the department or whether it's to go to the next mom and pop corporation to help them grow. Let's talk about the law of attention, where entrepreneurs are. Attention builds or breaks some business entrepreneurs. If you're building something on your own, your attention is your currency. Your attention is constantly on, most likely, the lack of money or how do I get money? The fear of failure. How do I not fail at doing this? I'm all in, and how do I fail at not doing this? Comparing yourselves to others that have already gone through it, but you didn't see that part, but you're comparing yourself to them. Worrying about who's not supporting you, right? Who's talking about you instead of supporting you. Then being steeped in being the stuck feelings, feeling overwhelmed, feeling scattered, right? But there's the same attention shift that you can be into service and value and consistency, learning more of your craft. Now your energy stabilizes because business isn't just strategy. It's sustaining the attention of all the crafts that that you have, that you can put in to getting things done, to meeting with the right people, to hiring the right employees to help you get through your first 3 years of breaking even, right? Now your energy stabilizes because business isn't just strategy, it's about sustaining attention, the law of attention. Let's talk about the transition from being an employee to an entrepreneur. The moment you feel pulled to something, but you're still holding on to the job, which is what I kind of did. I got to the point of not knowing about marketing, and it was very easy for me to put my whole business thing all the paperwork, everything that I had did, the websites and everything on a back burner. because I still had a job, right? And then I could blame the job for holding me back. I don't have enough time. I really don't have enough time to acclimate myself to having a part-time job after I get off work. Oh my God, where will the time go? The time I'll just be up late at night, and oh my God, I'll be tired when I go to work, and I'm already dealing with a supervisor who's got it out for me, that kind of thing. This is where attention becomes critical. If your attention is divided like this, I hate my job, but I'm scared to leave. I want to start, but I don't know how I can. You stay in tension, right? But when your attention becomes intentional, I'm using my job to fund my next step. It took me to 2019 to really understand this concept. 2019 and COVID changed my whole view of this concept. I'm learning discipline here. I had to start learning discipline. If I'm going to have my own business, I have to have some discipline. I'm building something, even if it's small. I've got to start small. Because the universe is about growth and expansion. So why shouldn't my business grow and expand? I'm not stuck anymore because I'm in transition. I just take a pause there. Think about it. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. The law of attention. It's intentional. Decision making, attention creates clarity. Right? A lot of people ask, how do I know what decision to make? Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just have to go with flow and put the foot in front of the other and see where life takes me, what it's showing me, where I want to put my attention to. Watch your attention, because your attention will let you know where your energy is going. You seen Harry Potter when he had that little map and it showed the footsteps on the map? Your attention is like that. It reveals your footsteps. If your attention keeps returning to something, there is something there for you. Not always for you to keep, but at least for you to understand. Let's talk about grounded truth. The law of attention is not about pretending everything is good. It's not. It's about recognizing what isn't good and what you want to do about it. What you repeatedly focus on, you begin to experience more of. If you recognize that you're continuously focusing on being, when you wake up in the morning, focusing on being like this before you even get to work, you're driving like this. Oh my God, we're doing this over again today. It's another day of torture. It's telling you something. Acknowledge it. The question becomes, where am I placing my attention? Why am I placing my attention on this every day? Whether it's in your work or your growth, what's your next step? The universal law of attention is not limited to you when you're at work, or when you're an entrepreneur, or when you're a first-time buyer, when you're in a leadership role. It applies to us as human beings navigating real life, as parents, as partners, as friends, as caregivers, as individuals that are aging, healing, grieving, rebuilding, and evolving. Attention is at work when a single father feels overwhelmed by responsibility. That's right. We're going to talk about single dads too. Not just single moms, but single dads. It is at work when a single mother questions whether she is doing enough, whether she's doing enough for work, and whether she's doing enough for her children at home. It is present in marriages under strain, and in friendships growing distant. Been there, done that. Been there, done the single mom 40-year work accounting, done the marriage for 3 or 4 years, right? All my attention was in every emotion, but not seeing why it kept taking me back to those same doors opening, right? It's present in grandparents learning to release independence. It's present after accidents or disappointments, betrayals, unexpected change. In every circumstance, the question remains, where is my attention resting? What story is being strengthened? What emotion is being amplified? It's even the law of attention is even present when a doctor tells you you have a lump. Or when a close friend loses their dog, like I encountered yesterday. One of my close friends lost her dog. She died yesterday morning. And in this, the law of attention played a role somehow, not on purpose. She didn't wish her dog ill will or anything. But she was probably thinking, what more could she have done for her animal, for her spirit animal in physical form? Okay. What emotion is being amplified? The law of attention does not discriminate between corporation boardrooms and the kitchen table. The soul does not take a holiday when you go to work. The law of attention operates in the hospital rooms, the classrooms, the traffic lanes, the living rooms, the quiet moments, the moments of reflection, and in the loud moments. Whether we are building companies or rebuilding trust. Whether we're raising children or raising ourselves, attention is shaping perception, behavior, and outcomes. With that understanding, we go deeper. Attention amplifies emotion. Whether we repeatedly focus on what it repeatedly focuses on, it grows emotionally stronger. Like right now, I'm feeling all of this. When we give sustained attention to frustration, and frustration can intensify. Been there, done that. When we give sustained attention to gratitude, gratitude can deepen. Been there too. Woo! I'm going to tell you that feels good. Attention deepens as emotional fuel. It functions as emotional fuel. What we attend to becomes charged. It can become animated. It can become influential in our internal world and spread outwardly. Repeated attention strengthens emotional patterns and posture. Attention operates like an investment strategy. Wherever we constantly place our intention, energy compounds. Over time, the compounded energy produces measurable outcomes, manifested journeys and stories. Intentions or attention. If you're imbalanced, it creates instability. Avoided attention can create silence. Attention shapes identity. Attention can determine relational climate. Leadership attention can shape the culture of a company. Remember, attention can be trained like a muscle. It strengthens with repetition and weakens with fragmentation. Deliberate focus increases cognitive ability. Nothing wrong with being deliberate. Nothing wrong with writing yourself a bunch of notes. I do it for myself. Because once upon a time, I used to say, or hear people say, oh, you know, your dad had Alzheimer's before he died. He didn't die of Alzheimer's, but he had it. So my little egoic self got to thinking. I had to intentionally put that to rest. Right? Attention requires renewal. I am forever renewing, revitalizing, sustaining my focus without restoring leads to mental fatigue and emotional distortion. I can do that without leaning on that. I can take breaks and I can reflect and I can have sensory memory resets. I can write down a word and say, I'm going to remember this word and put it right next to my computer. Collective attention scales outcome. Groups amplify whatever they consistently focus on. So when I went into board meetings, I led the way by enjoying what I was doing, the fact that I was ready to do it, and I got this. I got my boss's back, and knowing he has mine, not doubting it. Right? So attention precedes intention, and sometimes intention precedes attention. I truly believe they collaborate with each other. We cannot intentionally create change in areas we refuse to consciously examine. If you're too afraid to go there, if you don't want to go back and discern, most people are taught to go back into their past and judge. But if you're too afraid to go back and discern, to allow your ego to be silent while your higher self helps you make sense, or helps you to examine, so that you can bring it forward into your now and allow for change or transformation or alchemization to take place. That's on you. No one else. But gets this, someone will trigger you. I know you might not like me to say that triggers are yours, but someone will trigger you by something that they say. It is not their job to go back into your past and figure out why you got triggered. It's not giving them a pass to be purposefully triggering either. Okay? I'm not giving them that pass. Take what resonates. Like I said, attention can direct your emotional tone. Emotional tone can influence your behavior, and your behavior can influence results. Fragmentation of attention can fragment your identity. Take what resonates. Leave what doesn't. Focused attention stabilizes your identity, and it strengthens your direction. It allows you to see where you're going to go. It gives you the opportunity to make choices. Presence is the form of embodied attention. The way we sit, the way we listen, the way we breathe can train our mind to remain engaged. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. That was the book of Proverbs 4:23, the New International Version. William James was a psychology professor and psychologist. He said, "My experience is what I agreed to attend to." That was from the Principles of Psychology in 1890. Marcus Aurelius, in the Meditation Book 5, said the soul becomes dyed when the color of its thoughts, with the color of its thoughts. And our favorite, or at least mine, Rumi said, "Why are you so busy with this or that? or good or bad. Pay attention to how things blend. So as we close this episode on the universal law of attention, let us settle deeply if you choose. Guard your heart, choose what you attend to. Recognize that thought colors the soul. Understand that focus draws response. Attention is not casual. Attention is creative. It is shaping the tone of our relationships. It is shaping the strength of our leadership. It is shaping the stability of our homes. It is shaping the direction of our futures. What you constantly look at, you strengthen. What you consistently strengthen, you become. So this week, observe your focus without judgment. Notice where your energy goes. Notice what stories are being rehearsed or shaped. Notice what emotions are being amplified or pushed down. And gently redirect when necessary or where necessary, because awareness is the first shift. In our next episode, we will step into the law of opulence, not just wealth in the financial sense, but abundance in thought, energy, opportunity, creativity, and provision. We'll explore how we attend to either the constructs of abundance or its expansion. Until then, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Continue to emerge into your fullest potential and then flow into your next now moment. I want to say wholeness and balance, love to you and yours. Peace and love unconditionally. Thank you for joining me. If you've enjoyed this episode, like it, subscribe, and then share with someone who might need just a little listen. One love.